90. So all we're asking for it to be open exactly the same days, and now it's costing us 16,170. I can't, we've got no more staff in there. We don't open any more longer hours. So
why is it costing more?
Why does it cost us more? That's all I'm asking.
If you don't mind, can we come back to you on that?
Yeah.
Whilst you're looking at that, Judy, you also asked the same question. The employer's national insurance contribution come out more than fourfold. So the line underneath that,
yes,
budgeted 60.
That's gone up.
So there might be a linkage to that. So if you could look at that as well.
Lizzie, do you know why that is?
Mr. Chair, you did turn and say that we're funded by Section 106, but we were told we have to match fund this Section 106. So we get, if it comes in as 14, we've got to put in 7.
Where's he?
Yeah, you said last time you had to match fund the Section 106.
What are you talking about?
Literally a minute ago, right, I waited patiently for other people because the hand went on to other people. You said it was going to be funded by the Section 106. The DDA play in the Century Garden could be funded, right? And that's why I've waited patiently because he said somebody else had to come. So I've waited on that. And so what he's actually saying is, right, we're not going to put, if it's saying we're not going to put the money in the budget, then say we're not going to put the money in the budget, because that will then move it on. Because as far as I'm concerned, right, we have a responsibility to provide play for everybody, regardless of whether they have disability or not.
David, I don't want to start talking about the play area when we're talking about this.
Section
right?
1,
that's coming up later, and it will all be explained.
You just tell us it's going to be funded by Section 106, so this is where the budget is, right? And we're setting the budget.
We're not going to put in a budget a vast amount of money that's going to be spent. It'll be a one-off spend, wouldn't it? So you wouldn't stick £15,000 in a budget and then increase the council tax by that much, would you? That's not the way you do it, is it?
No, but at the same time, we've got to put stuff in place. We've agreed that we're going to do it. So what? So I'm saying we've got to be match funded. So we've got to match fund the section. Whatever CBC give us in 106, we're being told we've got to match fund.
You've got to apply for it yet.
We've already been told.
So can we just do one step at a time?
We've already been told that somebody in CBC is already going after that money.
Right, look, as far as the salaries go in the resource centre, they'll come back to them.
They already said that, yeah.
Councillor Franklin.
A couple of small points I don't quite understand. 4083 temporary staff says nothing and nothing. The future always had temporary staff, and we were talking about having again administrative.
There was no budget last year for temporary staff. Sorry, this time of year for temporary staff, and we don't anticipate any for next year.
And the administration.
The admin staff.
That would be included in the salary.
And the other one was 4232, the family fun day. I hear that the church are going to do it.
Well, that was someone else's decision, not the town council.
No, we haven't made a decision on that.
We've got the budget again.
Where's the budget from that?
4232.
Yes, it's yes, then. What? Councillor Governor, you saying that's not enough or something?
No, I just thought, are we paying for it again, or are the church?
Well, no, that was just something that was mooted. It isn't. No decision's been made on that. So therefore, it's been included. Councillor Hayes.
Yeah, do the staff get a cost of living pay increase? And if it is, what's going to be?
We're informed.
Then you inform by who?
We bring it to National Joint Council, and we bring it to council, we bring it to council.
And then that goes in the budget.
Approval.
Okay.
Councillor Banks.
I may have got this slightly wrong, but on the detailed income and expenditure budget, we have 4083 temporary staff with 4820 to date. and yet on this line, the same 4083 is recorded as 00. I know it's 0 at the end, but we have got,
That's,
on 1415, there's this figure 4820. Well, shouldn't that be in 4083, or have I got this wrong?
no,
But it's the same number.
no, that's the spending for this year
This is the budget.
that you've got on the income and expenditure.
On this
But
one.
there was no budget. If you look at the third line along.
Okay.
there's
But then,
no-
oh,
there's no-
but why have you put 1415 here then? And then proposed budget, I can get my head round, yeah. But on the finance and GP, you've got the same number 4083. For 1415, you've got 0. But on this income and expenditure, with 1415, you've got 4820.
That's what council has spent this year. If you look further along that line and look at the budget figure,
Well, I still find that's quite complicated. I'm not arguing with you, you know finance better than me, but I just find that a bit confusing when you've got it under the same heading of 4083. On one page you've got, as I say, 4820 and then 00. Just a question.
because what we're looking at is the budget for 204115. There was no budget for temporary staff, but the council did make a decision to take on somebody.
Yep.
And what you're looking at the income and expenditure is the spending for this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you go further along on that line, you'll see there is no budget for that.
No, as I said, there was a 0. I was just getting confused because of the number 4083 being displayed
You can't put that in
differently.
here because it would mess up the budget figure.
No, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
14.
No problem then.
Councillor Holloway.
You mentioned, I do recall that we agreed to replace the part-time member of staff. Is that replacement in this budget somewhere? That's out. Is that up in the top?
Yeah.
4001.
Yeah.
That's right. It's in the sub-
Councillor Baines.
Okay, just to recap on what the issue Julie raised, just to clarify, Julie, the 1415 is the budget upset. So to compare like to like in each year in terms of the difference in preset, so it's quite right to keep it as it is.
Yeah.
But what might be helpful is when we set this in future budgets, is just have an actual spend column as well, so we can see how we're monitoring that over half of the year.
that
I think
makes
that's
sense. Yeah, that makes
That'll
sense.
give councillors more
Yeah.
decisions to make an informed
Mm.
discussion, but the clerk's quite right in terms of you can't change that budget.
No.
That's once it's set at the beginning of the year.
Councillor Baines, can the assistant clerk come in, please, before you carry on with another
At
point?
the committee meetings in November, you all had the current budget, projected spend, and the new budget. You all had that.
Mhm.
So after 6 months, we don't do it every time, we do it every single couple of budgets. We do it that at 6 months.
Okay, I'll trust you. You're the experts.
So those of us that aren't on the GP and Finance committee wouldn't have access to that information, so we used to be came to full council. Just a point.
Well, the draft budget's go in October to the committees for them to look at what their spending will be. Their draft budgets, they make any amendments and alterations.
I'm just asking for more information in a clear way so full council can make an informed decision. Because there was an issue about clarification a moment ago. Put a helpful way forward on that and actually having an actual spend budget. Which I understand has gone to the committees, but those of us that aren't on committees won't have that information.
Is it feasible to put that in? No, well, just in a future
Decide whether we
year.
want that information. So if we want that information, we need that information.
So you have that information on your income and expenditure sheet.
Yeah, but it'd be useful to have it in this, in one place. It stops us from looking at one budget to the next budget. We've got it a clear line. I'll make a point just now. If you look at line 40, It's the printing, the photocopying and printing line, 4024. We've got a budget of £800. On the income and expenditure report, the actual spend to date is £723. If we had that information, we'd see halfway through the year, just over halfway through the year, we would almost spend that budget. There may well be explanations why we've had an extraordinary expense, but in order for councillors to make an informed decision, we usually have spend to date column in there, so we can actually see that. So we'd have to go through working each one out. And if we're not all qualified accountants, we wouldn't know to do that.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't know whether it would be too time consuming to do. I don't know.
It's for councillors to decide whether we want that information or not. I, for one, would be helpful. It would stop me from actually doing that exercise, and actually it might benefit some other councillors to actually give them more
Mr. Chair, is it
information.
just a case of adding one column into a spreadsheet and just putting the figures in?
They're the ladies that do it. I don't know how long it would take them to do it.
The actual spend, the income and expenditure is done on the system, we compute the accounts package, whereas when we do the projected spend, we do that on Excel. So it would be me transferring all those figures of the income and expenditure over to the Excel spreadsheet.
So, like what I can see here is, can you not cut and paste those figures and stick
Not
them?
from the system.
So it's manual input. So you're manually inputting
From the accounts.
about 300 or 400 entries, maybe take an hour to do. Is that too much to ask? For me, it would be helpful for me to have that information.
I think it might make me understand it a bit better, yeah. But how do you feel?
We do the projected ones based on accounts.
Or if that information came to council, full council, then full council have got that information.
We only do it after 6 months, so and then we've got to redo it for 7 months.
Even if it's just a 6 months then, that would be useful. If it's already done, it just comes to full council.
So you mean on the draft budget, it's in October?
Just done once.
No,
Just do it once, not
Right,
November.
it's just once, so
So like
does
what
that cuts
came-
the workload
came
down?
to
That's the sort of thing you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That's our projected figures, that's not from the system, not the actual figures.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, so October then. This is when the first
Well, this is for next year's planning. We're not looking for it
Yeah.
for now.
No, not now.
Actually, this would be the right meeting to have them, wouldn't it?
Okay, so next year then we put it in.
Because the draft budget's in October.
Yeah.
Obviously, members of that committee will amend any figures or add or take away or whatever. They then look at them again in the November meeting, so probably this meeting would be the better meeting to have
Yeah.
that spending.
Okay. Good. Okay. Just on that one then, in terms of photocopying and printing, is there enough £800, given that we've spent £723 already this year in October's report?
Just been unfortunate spend on that particular budget because we've got a photocopy with very expensive colour cartridges and then we'll run out of once,
Okay, so
and more or less the same.
How many times do you have to replace that?
as the body,
Not that often, though it has happened for this year.
No, it's not a regular thing throughout the year.
No.
okay, so £800 is going to be sufficient for next year.
Depends what photocopying we do. We do a lot of photocopying for various functions throughout the year.
Okay. Okay, the other line I just want to query is professional fees. We've got a budget of £500. Just want to ask councillors, do you think that's going to be sufficient for next year?
No.
I don't think we could really even begin to estimate what accurate figure we could put in there.
Yeah.
This is the problem with this, isn't it? I mean, you can't really budget for that, can you? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
I think it would be more accurate than £500.
I think we need to be prudent and increase that significantly.
Michael,
I don't know how the
what
council
just
feel.
said.
Sorry?
Michael just said a figure, we need to propose that figure.
I think you have more.
Yeah.
I'll take Julie's view on that. Okay.
5K?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think to the village agent fee of £5,000?
Mr. Chair, I actually believe the village agent does a good job, and if we could get Aragon and CBC to jump in bed with us, we could actually increase the service without actually increasing the budget we put in. So we need to be writing to the managing director at Aragon, Mrs. Evans, and we also need to be writing to.
Yeah, but that's aspiration grade, isn't it? At the moment, we've only got to go what we've got.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it costs £20 an hour to have a village agent. Is that value for money?
Yes.
We're thinking of, you know, if you're going to put £4,500 on professional fees, just as a ballpark figure, you know, you've got to look to be making a saving somewhere.
Mr. Chair?
Councillor Patton.
The Good Neighbourhood Scheme has set up, I know the lady who's become the chair of that, she's got a vice chair, she's just looking for a secretary, they're doing it with the WI and so on. They're going to do quite a bit of it. It might not be quite as professional, I suppose, as the village agent, the RCC, but they are going to go to people where they need help and do sort of changing light bulbs and helping them fill in forms and do quite a lot on a voluntary basis. And Evelyn, who I know, has said that she feels it's going to increase. Now, as they do see someone and someone speaks to someone else, she reckons they'll take a lot of that work.
Mr. Chair, the village agent has to go on certain training courses, one being on benefit and benefit advice. So some of the people who've gone to her have actually asked for benefits advice and help her. And I don't believe that people want to discuss their benefits with volunteers within the community, within this village. So therefore, the village agent is somebody who's impartial and has actually helped out a number of people within this community get benefits that they would not have otherwise had. So therefore, we should support this scheme. It was quite a unique scheme brought over to us, and it has helped quite a few people within this community.
Okay. I think I've got reserves is a good one. I know I'll ask for reform.
Yeah.
I won't, but if you can send it around when you've got it. I'm aware that we've got money in reserves, and I learned last meeting that they're allocated in buckets. Well, I think what we need to do is, do we need to make a decision about this village agent tonight? I mean, it runs till March.
Well, we've got
Well,
until...
we do really, because the next set of budget figures come through in January for you to set the preset.
We have to confirm in January.
I mean, all the services that you've spoken about, David, quite frankly, you can get that kind of advice elsewhere. And it may well be cheaper for us to hold sort of like a forum and have the organisations like CAB, Age Concern, and all of those, and hold a forum, but it may work cheaper, but doing it that way.
It's crazy that, I was reassured to see that 3,500 was the salary. I thought,
The rest is going to be administrative
it's
fees.
still 40%, we couldn't hire a direct.
Yeah,
What
that's
money?
right.
£20 an hour.
Let's start hiring more staff, because they need supervision, training, etc.
There's organisations out there, it's about networking and then pulling them all in together. I mean, it wouldn't hurt for the council actually to do a bit of networking and hold a forum in the village hall when it's available, perhaps once a quarter, once a month to start off with, and get all these organisations down, you know.
Mr.
I
Chair,
think that's a good thing, the more you network.
Right, can we...
we had something in the car park just last summer, whereby Aragon came, Age Concern came, there was 3 or 4 different organisations came because they put a lot of tents up and giving out a lot of information, and that was all organised through our office here. So that has happened. People coming together, sharing, giving information out. It was well attended, but the village agent has still been oversubscribed to the number of people who then turn around and say it should be there. Some people haven't been put back. So I'm sorry, right? I think this is a good scheme and we should keep it. The fact that everybody else has cut it,
But I
So-
think
So can we propose, Mr Chair, I propose we keep the scheme.
Anyone second that?
No, I'd like to.
It's a good scheme. And I think we agree with the principle, it's whether we can get better value for money, I think the question is.
I think we set ourselves a task to look, I don't think we get enough answers to our questions, so I second that. But what's it, modify the proposal, what the phrase is?
An amendment.
An amendment that we run it, but we collect more information about just what we're getting for our money, what sort of advice, and is there a better way, 15, 16?
Well, when we had that meeting with Rosie Kine, she said only 6 people had applied. Yeah, it was 6, wasn't it?
Well,
So,
when you mention
for
something that changes out of
£5,000,
hand.
she'd helped 6 people.
Well,
one of those individuals did take up an excessive amount of her time, because I know the individual.
Okay, so we're going to retain it, yeah? Okay. That's what the majority of people think, that's what we'll do. Okay, so any more, can we exhaust this now? Hang on.
Okay, line 4102, town plan neighbourhood. There's 3 question marks next to it. I've missed a couple of things, like I said before. How has the neighbourhood plan progressed in my absence? Or what is
There's
it?
an update on that later in the meeting.
Okay, is this £50 going to be enough?
No.
How much should
Well, that depends on
We've already been told.
how far it is progressed by current members.
We've already been told by our ward members it's going to cost several £1,000s to do, right? Because it's not what Arlesey Town Council want, it's what the residents want, and we've got to interact with the residents to get it, okay? And we've got to get working parties and groups together to come together to actually bring, and it's going to cost a lot more than the £50.
So what would be a prudent figure?
I don't think
Several
anyone's-
thousands.
We can't keep sticking thousands and thousands.
This is
on
the
the
point,
research.
this project is going to...
You have to
Yeah,
use
no.
that out of reserve.
It's got that reserve.
You know, you can't keep expecting all the residents to suffer a council tax bill that's going to go up
We've got it in reserve.
tens of percents.
That's right, they don't want
It's
that.
going to look ridiculous, isn't it?
We don't want
I
that.
mean, at the end of the day, you're proposing all these things, I understand that, but the budget has got to be controlled. And at the moment, it's in danger of spiraling out of control.
Well, I think we've just got to cap our reserves. How much money have we got in the bank?
Yeah, that's what we've got. I don't know the information on that, but that is the alternative, isn't it?
Because I think this budget, I mean, when we get to the agenda item, we'll discuss it, but, you know, we're going to need some help, and we've been told it's 20k over 2 years for sort of consultants to help us get it through. So it's in the region of, I don't know, 5 to 10k. So that's got to come out of reserves. Can't keep putting on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so have we, Councillor Baines, any other questions?
Yeah, please.
Do you want to make that resolution?
What's the resolution? The money we
The
want from reserve?
neighbourhood planning.
Yeah,
And
no,
money.
that's good. Yeah.
Do we keep the
Aha,
two?
say 50 quid.
Take the 50 out,
Do we
yeah.
take that out? We've already got 50 in this year's budget. Do you want to just approve that
Yeah,
for another
yeah,
pound
just.
at the end of the year?
Okay, the resource centre income, from line 1148 down to 1157, we're just cutting our predicted income down by a significant amount. I just wanted to understand the rationale behind that.
Where are we here?
Can you
You're
explain where you are?
Okay, so resource centre,
104, yeah.
income figures. So second page is in the pack, so from 1148, which is refreshments, all the way down to 1157 fines, all of those figures, let's go down to
It's on down, okay. Probably Leslie can answer that.
Well, it's just their
No,
income.
that's not good
No,
for
their
school.
income has been down this year, obviously because it's been closed some time. And so we were just basing. We tend to like to be on the lower side for income and not the higher side, because we don't get.
Are we expecting income to go down and maintain at levels prior to the closure?
Income will I've got it in front of me.
I think they're just erring on the side of caution, aren't they?
Mr. Chair,
It's been a bad year for the resource centre, they predicted down.
Mr. Chair,
Are we
the
predicting a bad year next year?
refreshments that were sold in there, okay, they were stopped, okay, under many reasons, and I can take up all night if you want me to go through them. I'm glad
Okay,
to
so
do
not
so.
talk about. Can I discuss this under?
No, but yeah,
resource
that's
centre
why
report?
that income has gone down, okay,
That's the
because
main-
that was stopped for a vast number of reasons, accordingly.
David, I think it's because, as Nick said, that it's been quite problematic with the resource centre this year. There has been one problem after the other, and for some time it wasn't open at all. And I think all those things have to be taken into consideration. We can't have a true reflection with what happened this year regarding the resource centre.
There may be some flex and increase in some of this will might help. Okay.
And just a very minor point under capital projects, 4060 vehicle purchase. I'm just wondering whether we, because we're not purchasing the vehicle next year, it's just a fund, isn't it? That will be accrued and build up amounts, so when we do need to make purchase, so maybe some,
Issues would be accrued into.
yeah, so maybe just call it vehicle purchase fund or something rather than vehicle purchase, just for clarification. Very my point.
Okay, so pending adjustments being made accordingly, did you get all those down? Yeah, we can move on from this one, can't we? Yeah, it might be handy, although I don't know whether it would be nice listening, but anyway, go on.
I mean, I've increased the professional fees to £5,000 and I haven't got anything else in for bus shelter or the sensory garden. But at the moment, the overall precept will be increasing by £11,194, which is a 6.236% increase, but that's not taking into account the tax base rate.
What would the effect on the council tax be, do you know? Well, while they're producing that figure,
1976.
I'm just going to have a natural break. Briefly adjourn the meeting.